Now we've got another LSU legend.
Lifetime contract.
And Mikie Mahtook joining the show here to talk about the Tigers as they punch their ticket to Omaha. Michael, thank you for joining us. Good morning.
What's up, guys?
There we go.
How you doing?
There he is. How we doing? How are you feeling? Are you as relieved as Jay Johnson is this morning?
Relieved, yeah. I mean, they played great. I was there. I was excited. I'm tired.
Don't you do this weather delay thing. Don't you do it.
What?
Don't you worry about the weather.
Listen to me. We're not going to get into that. We're not going to get into that, but
Mikey.
That's a lot.
As much as I heard you gripe yesterday, you better ask him. Put your nuts on the table.
Well, no, listen. There's no reason to ask him. I know what the conversation is going to be. I know what the conversation is. And
I understand it. I don't like it.
But it doesn't mean I have to like it. I mean, that's the issue. But I'm feeling good. I know the boys are feeling good. I mean, that was a total performance, complete total performance for the whole weekend. And they did it when they're, offensively, they've had a lot of conversations. We've had a lot of conversations about what's going to happen. Are they going to get going again? And offense carried them throughout the course of this weekend. Obviously, pitching staff did enough, but both aces weren't on the top of their game, and it didn't really matter. Obviously, Ianson grinded through 5 innings yesterday and gave up 4 and grinded through those 4. But then Cooper Williams has been lights out in the postseason, steadied the ship, and then kept us in a 2-run game until they obviously exploded for the 6th run. So feeling great. LSU's where they should be in Omaha, and looking forward to next weekend which of course I feel like the top 2 teams are playing each other in the first game of the World Series.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll start with game number 1. Talk about the lineup. Obviously there was a lot of conversation about the lineup when it came out, all the shakeup. Pearson leading off, Curiel down to 7th. Talk about that lineup and just how it paid off for Jay Johnson.
Yeah, obviously he made the lineup changes based off the pitcher that they're facing. It's the first time I've seen him do that with Curiel, move him down the lineup, and it obviously worked. I think Curiel and Pearson hit homers. Pearson hit the grand slam. Milam hit the grand slam. Jared Jones swung the bat a little bit better in the series, and so I think he was just trying to. We've talked about that a lot throughout the course of the year. Jay likes to go shake the lineup up, but it's not necessarily dependent upon this guy's playing well or not playing well. I think he kind of shakes the lineup up based off of what gives that lineup the most versatility. And I think he thought that did it at that time, and obviously it worked out. And then last night's game, they shook it up a little bit, but not quite as much. And they performed at a high level both games.
And sticking with game 1, the weather. Talk about the heat. As somebody, obviously, we are from Louisiana. We were born and raised in this heat. But as somebody like the West Virginia pitchers on the mound, the players, talk about how difficult it is to play in weather like that you're not used to, or even weather that you are used to when it's that hot.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're used to it, that's a grind. You're sweating, can't stop sweating. Everything's hot, everything's muggy. It's hard to grip the bat, hard to grip the ball. And it's miserable, to be honest with you. And so, it's a grind, and especially if you're not used to playing in that, but both teams playing the same conditions, and you got to go out there and you got to play mistake-free baseball. And look, LSU swung it all weekend. They threw when they needed to, but if you look at it, really, boil it down to what was the biggest difference, and I think it was, the errors and the defense. And when it's hot like that, it's easy to kind of lose focus, and it's kind of easy to not be as sharp defensively. And I'm not saying that was the reason why West Virginia booted some balls, but all those things matter, and LSU handled the conditions really well.
And then obviously in game 1, you saw some home runs, grand slams, but then last night for LSU, the way they were able to get those runs across, it's a base-clearing double from Milam. You get a 2 RBI single from Stanfield later in the game as he beats the shift. They did it in a well-rounded performance last night at the Dish. Talk about the offense that you saw this weekend.
Game one was kind of, look, you score runs different ways. You're not ever going to complain about scoring 16 runs in a game. But Saturday's game was very different in a sense of, you had you scored 11 runs on 3 swings of the bat. You had, 3-run homer and 2 grand slams. You're able to scratch some more runs across, but you scored runs that game in a way that you really haven't scored all year. And then you follow that up with a game where you only hit 1 homer and you're driving guys in, you're getting base hits with runners in scoring position, coming up clutch in those moments. And so, I think the offense feels like they're starting to click on all cylinders. After that second game against Little Rock, it feels like, everybody's swinging the bat pretty well. They're all putting together really good at-bats. And look, whenever Curriel is swinging the bat the way he's swinging it, and whenever Milam's swinging the bat the way he's swinging it, the lineup looks a lot different and it produces a lot more. Obviously, Curriel getting on base consistently helps. And then you have Milam, who's now moved back up in the lineup. And, he's had an unbelievable postseason, but an even better super regional. I think he had 8 RBIs in 2 games. So, and he probably should have had 2 or 3 more hits based off some of the balls that he hit. So it's offense feels like they're clicking right now, and it's one of those things where you've been kind of anticipating them starting to get hot again because they've been kind of, I don't call it a rut, but hadn't been as good as it can be for the last month or month and a half, and finding ways to win, and now they're swinging it. So it's a good sign going in Omaha.
If you were on the other side of the bracket or another team in this that's not LSU, and you see what they just did against whether it be Arkansas, Little Rock, the way they've pitched it, and then you see the offense, is there a team that you would be like, if there's one you got to circle that we'll probably face, be like, if they put it together that way, they're the best team in the country?
Oh, look, there's in the World Series, anything can really happen. Obviously, you got to play Arkansas first game, and I think Arkansas, the way they played against Tennessee and the way they've been playing right now with Dave Van Horn, they're going to be a tough out in Omaha. If you look at the opposite end of the bracket, obviously Coastal is extremely hot. They went into Auburn and they put it on Auburn. They swing it, but they pitch it really well. And you have a bunch of teams that do different things well. Right now, when you go to Omaha, obviously that stadium is kind of an equalizer. So, it's not a stadium where you're going to drive a bunch of balls out of the ballpark. You're going to have to be able to score in a bunch of different ways. That's why I like LSU's offense in that stadium. I think there are more hits to be had in the outfield because it's such a big outfield, such a spacious outfield. And I think LSU, not relying on the homer and relying on complete offense, I think that's a huge thing for them. So, I haven't really dug into all the other teams that I haven't paid too much attention to against throughout the course of the year. But, anytime you get to Omaha, you're going to have to be on your P's and Q's because it's, that stadium can make or break a team.
A key moment in the game last night when you look at it is the bottom of the 6th. Obviously, West Virginia had gotten 4 runs across the prior 2 innings. LSU hadn't scored since the 2nd. And there's a leadoff hit by pitch from Ianson. Cooper Williams comes into the game, records 3 straight outs with the last one being a strikeout. And then in the top of the 7th, LSU opens it up after a fielding error, a walk, a hit by pitch, and then Stanfield rips that single that scores 2. Talk about the way Alec Box erupted and got into it in that moment where Cooper Williams gets that final strikeout, gets everyone back on their feet, and had that place rocking before West Virginia started to make some mistakes that LSU capitalized on.
I'll tell you what, that's obviously was a big moment, but let me tell you part of the moment that not many people got to see. Happened right in front of me. West Virginia fan in the section next to us decided to make his way down and go all the way down to the corner right in front of our section of 214 where he could try to yell at the West Virginia dugout. I guess he was trying to get them riled up. But instead of getting them riled up, he was right in front of all the LSU fans talking a little shit to all the LSU fans. He was overserved. He was drinking. And
moonshine.
He was in the lion's den. And
man in the arena.
He started running his mouth. People in the front row running his mouth. He started getting a little disrespectful to the woman that was in the front row. Then it got a little heated. And he started walking up the stairs, shushing the crowd. Well, he had to get escorted out, right? So they kicked him out of the game. And crowd started going a little nuts, get a little more energy around us. And that's when the 6th-run inning happened. So, not only did Cooper Williams come in there and shut it down and kind of steady the ship, West Virginia fan came out there and really rallied the crowd to get them a little bit more energetic, and the next inning they scored 6 runs. So not saying that was the reason, but I know our section got a little bit more energetic after that happened, and but Cooper Williams went out, and he has been as good as you can be in the last 2 outings he's had. And Little Rock steadied the ship there, came in a big moment in this game, steadied the ship, kept it to a 2-run game, and allowed the offense to kind of get back going and score more runs and tack on some insurance. So kudos to that guy, man. He's a freshman. I don't think he's got enough credit this year because he's been really good all year.
Yeah, his quote was in the post game, "That was awesome." But
yeah,
take that.
Hey, he's got a ton of energy on the mound, man. I love that.
Yeah, and you talked about your section. How worn out was Mr. Ball for? Because he had a lot of them.
He wasn't there.
What?
Whoa.
The dad wasn't there, but the son of the dad brought his friend. Obviously, they're a little older than me, but he brought his friend. His friend picked up the slack with the ball for. So, it's a team effort. It's a team effort.
I brought Jerry over there whenever you gave us your tickets, and he goes, his face lit up. He goes, "That's him. I've heard him my whole life. I heard him for 4 years, and I could never find him." And he goes, "Oh my God!" He's like, "You're Ball 4."
There he is. There he is. He's a legend.
He's a legend. He'll probably be in Omaha. He's probably already there.
Probably. That's probably why I went to the game.
That's exactly right.
Some questions in the chat. The throw,
Yes, Mikey.
the play Milam made throwing it to third, obviously was talked about a lot last night. And there's still some questions in the chat about it this morning. What was your thought on that play where Milam fields it, tries to get the lead runner at third, and he ends up sliding in safe?
I thought it was the right play. I know it's a bit of a gamble at that time with a lead. Some people say get the sure out, but the ball took him to third base. The guy was there, and it was the right play. The guy, he had him out. The guy made a good slide. He was athletic. Maybe if Reeves kind of gives a little bit more of an aggressive tag, gets him. It was bang bang. I don't have a problem with that play at all. They teach you if the ball takes you there and you have a chance to get him, you get the lead runner. And, he had an opportunity and it just didn't work out. And luckily it didn't come back to bite us in the ass too bad. But I don't mind that play. And the other play he made earlier in the game, super savvy, the little chopper over the mound, bare hand, has no play at first. The only play he has is the arm fake. And he does it in one motion where he arm fakes and then throws behind him and almost gets the guy at second base. I didn't love the challenge on that because he was safe. I think that was obvious from the crowd, but that play shows his baseball savviness right there. So it was the right move.
I think people just wanted to watch the replay again because that was an unbelievable play to have that, the wherewithal to know where you are, and Dickinson to be able to be over there too. Them up the middle is something to you saw the. Okay, let me ask you this: Game 1. You see the glove flip to Milam, no challenge by West Virginia. Does this series go differently if they challenge right there in that spot? Because I think that was a tipping point of Game 1, but also if you give them life and they're able to capitalize on that, I feel like that was a big thing that nobody's talking about because it just was. I mean, we were all watching it at golf suites. We're like, are they going to challenge? I was like, throw a pitch as fast as you can because he was safe.
Yeah, look. I don't know. He was safe, and I don't know if that would have changed the complexion of the game because, it was still a little bit of a deficit. But, they would have continued their momentum. Didn't love the glove flip there at that time. But, that's what they do. They have a little swag up the middle. Mm-hmm. I think that was more of a, hey, let's get this guy out type of thing instead of we have an easy way. We have enough time or a lot of time. Luckily, they didn't challenge it. It didn't come back to bite LSU, but I don't know if it would have changed the complexion of the game, but it definitely would have. Gotten a little bit everybody a little bit more nervous.
And speaking of Dickinson, how about him giving you the old school 2009 Chipotle shout out? That was y'all spot, huh? Has to feel like if you could add NIL. Weren't you a big Chipotle guy?
Chipotle. Yeah, 09. We didn't have one in 09.
Oh, just Chipotle in general.
Just Chipotle in general. We didn't have a Chipotle until after we were gone.
Oh, yeah, it came in.
I experienced.
Yeah, when I was in college, it showed up in 14.
Yeah, I experienced Chipotle when I was in pro ball. That was an eye opener for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Talk about Luis Hernandez.
An eye opener. It's beans and rice.
Of course, it's an eye. It's delicious, Lloyd.
Look, they put the chicken next to the rice.
It's delightful.
Two scoops.
You can pack that thing. I mean, at the beginning of Chipotle, they used to pack that thing out. They've started to skimp on the food a little bit, but they used to pack that bowl.
No, you gotta go extra rice. You gotta go extra rice. Extra rice.
There you go.
They don't mind giving that away.
Life hack.
No.
Luis Hernandez got battered up again this weekend as he got hit by maybe 12 pitches through the 2 games, but continued to push through and perform for LSU. Talk about the warrior that he is and how big he's been for LSU in his first season here.
Man, he's been great. I mean, he's exceeded any expectations I have. Obviously, you look at his numbers coming from Indiana State, and, he's this guy's an offensive first guy. He didn't really catch at Indiana State. You didn't really know what to expect behind the plate, and he's been awesome behind the plate. He's been everything you want in a catcher. Offensive, I'll take what his offensive numbers are here because of what he's doing at the plate. I mean, he's got 9 homers. I wouldn't be shocked if he got the double digits in the year. And, he's not hitting for as high of an average or as many homers, but different league, catching every day obviously takes its toll on your body. And what he's doing, how he's controlling the pitching staff, how he's going out there day in and day out, comes up with big hits. I mean, he's been a huge addition to this team, and what he's done behind the plate has been, can't be talked about enough.
Chase Shores was pure electricity when he came out to close the game out last night. Just triple digits all the way through, had swag walking off the mound. Talk about what he could be for LSU moving forward into Omaha.
Yeah, we had made a tweet on was mic'd up saying that, let Case and Evans go because he's earned the right to, close the game out to go to Omaha. And then I didn't, you're in the moment, you don't think about it, but I love what Jay did, and it gave Chase Shores the opportunity to go throw the ninth. That may be the last time he steps foot on the mound in Alex Box Stadium, and he left an unbelievable impression. I mean, he came out there, bumping 100, first guy, just blew it right by him. And then, he was locating his slider, and he threw with more confidence yesterday than I've seen him throw all year.
1,000%.
And, I mean, if he can do that, and locate his breaking ball and throw his fastball like that, I mean, he's a weapon for us in the back end of the bullpen. And, with a stadium like, I forget what the stadium is now in Omaha, but with the stadium in Omaha, you're not, the threat of homer isn't as much as it is in some of these other fields and other stadiums. And so I'd expect you to see him go out there and throw with that same confidence and light it up and say, hey, here it is, come and hit it if you can.
I mean, there's a real world in which, I mean, you said it and you alluded to it, but if Shores goes out and then in an Omaha setting and does that multiple times where people see 100 and they see 89 to 100 where he's locating and pitching like that, like they're going to have Cade Anderson, Anthony Ianson, and then Shores, and they're going to be like, look at this LSU pitching staff. All 3 might be gone.
Yeah. No, look, it's, I don't think anybody thought that Chase Shores was going to be here next year when the season started, So I think, he's done enough. I think they've seen enough. They've seen the upside. He may not get drafted as high as he wanted to get drafted, but I think they see his upside, and I think he's gonna be gone. But yeah, I mean, you're a scout and you watch LSU, and you're looking at their talent and their pitching staff and the velocity. I mean, I think there's a stat last in the regional. LSU's pitching staff threw like 95 pitches over 95 miles an hour, something crazy like that. And the next closest was like Tennessee, Arkansas, like 61. Something crazy. I don't know the exact numbers.
Yeah, I saw it too.
But yeah, I mean they've got a bunch of flamethrowers, and him being the biggest one. So I think scouts know it, and they look at it and they look forward to watching him. And it's just, when's he going to put it all together? And if he can continue to do that, then that's a really good sign.
Last one, as someone who has made the trip to Omaha in the purple and gold, talk about what this means for the guys on this team that haven't made the trip already, that weren't a part of that 2023 team, and that are headed to the College World Series for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, look, you work all year for this. It's something you talk about in the offseason, you talk about during the season, And when you finally get there, it's hard to get there. And when you finally get there, it's exciting. I think you could look at the dugout last night and see how excited these guys are. I mean, Dickinson, Ianson, and Hernandez, and all these guys transferred in because they wanted a chance to go to Omaha. Well, they didn't just transfer to LSU because, we're going to play for a good school in the SEC and we're going to get drafted. They transferred here because of those things, but because they thought that this had the best opportunity to get to Omaha. And so all those guys are getting to experience it for the first time. Freshmen coming in, I think that's a huge thing for the future. You get to experience this early on in your career. You understand what it feels like and what it's like to get there. So you can continue to pass that torch as you continue to develop and get older. So, man, it's when you finally get there, it's a great feeling, but it's a fleeting feeling because you know that you have to go out there, and just getting there is not the goal. Like, it's fun and it's nice, but that's just the start of what the ultimate goal is of winning the World Series and bringing a championship back to Baton Rouge. So they celebrated, they enjoyed it. I imagine they're waking up this morning a little hungover, not feeling great. But they have a game on Saturday, and they're going to get going. I don't know when they leave for Omaha. I'd imagine they probably leave on Tuesday for Omaha, and then get ready to win that championship. So these guys are fired up. I'm fired up for them. So it's the best place to be for the next 10 days, and hopefully we can sneak out there and go watch them.
Ain't no hope.